Hey, it's your friend Mike O'Neill Afternoons, the new My 97.5.
Mike Pesto here as well, ready, as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube for baseball season, because baseball season officially started right after the final gun went off in the Super Bowl. I am ready for pitchers and catchers reporting, I believe, tomorrow, Tuesday.
My son said the same thing. He just keeps saying over and over again, three-peat. Say it with me, Dad. Three-peat, clearly Dodger fans. But anywho.
Yeah, Dodgers actually, pitchers and catchers report on Friday. Probably the same thing for, who did they play in the World Series? I forget now. It was, Blue Jays.
Oh, yeah, them.
So I'm sure they probably report Friday as well, but everybody else, it's either Tuesday or Wednesday because baseball starts before you know it. We will find out what the Visalia Rawhides roster is going to look like. By the way, if you haven't done it yet, please do like and subscribe on YouTube. All the great videos that we put up there, not only the podcast videos, but Hector, our promotions coordinator, will sometimes have fun with it as well and have some bonus videos that'll pop up there for you.
I'm sorry, what was that question? Who has opening day tickets to the Rawhide? Sean and I do.
Do you really?
Absolutely.
That's a hot ticket, too.
We got them. We blew it last year, we being me, and because I'm not the special 26-year-old adult. I was last year. And this year we've got the tickets, and he's psyched, I'm psyched. Let's go. Let's play baseball.
Very nice. Yeah, we'll see all the improvements. If you were there for Fan Fest a couple weeks ago, the padded outfield wall, so the players will feel safer. I've heard that the dugouts are much improved. The lighting they actually put in last year, so some things you'll see, some things you won't, but I'm ready for it.
Now, the road's cleared out there, right? Now we don't have to go around?
Oh, Giddings? That is a very good question. I don't know. Over by
I just haven't driven over there
Redwood
for
High
so
School.
long because you couldn't.
I think it's still blocked. If anyone knows definitively, if they're still working on that road, hopefully it'll be done before opening day.
I'll just park on Center and walk up. Anyway.
So before we get into baseball, and we will once the season actually starts, let's review big game last night, Super Bowl, which interesting game with the first half compared to the second.
Lots of defense, man. I was just waiting the whole first half for that big offensive play, either team. And it was just one stifling defense and another one doing well, too, and with 3 field goals. But nobody was kicking anybody's butt. It looked like it could go anywhere. But then after the half.
Then some touchdowns became part of the scoring situation. I did read today that Drake May, quarterback for the Patriots, actually had an injured shoulder that didn't let anyone know about ahead of time. I'm sure the team knew and officials knew, but
they did talk about that actually. I think they signed him off on it on Friday.
But it was still, there's a difference between, yes, you can play, and yeah, you're going to have a lot of discomfort. You're going to have some mobility issues, and he was, going into the postseason, the most accurate passer on the AFC, at least, if not all in football. Not so much in the playoffs. So I'm not sure when that injury occurred, but he did not have a good playoff run.
Yeah, well, it was as good. It went just about the way I thought it would. I just remember getting to the point, they're going to win. I don't have to watch anymore.
Yeah, if I was a gambler, I would have taken the under in the game, and the under would have paid off. Basically, the under, if you're not familiar with gambling, they'll set the line as to combined score, how many points will be scored, and usually it's in the 40s or 50s. It was in the 30s.
Yeah.
So not a lot of points. Although with the late touchdowns they had, my son, I have to give him credit for this once again. I did this morning on the air. He had the line of the day as we were watching the game. We were watching the halftime show, Bad Bunny, which we will talk about, and the commercials as well. But if you saw the halftime show, Bad Bunny started off carrying a football through the fields he was walking through, and then the football disappeared. And he had it again at the end of his performance, and he spiked it in the end zone.
That was his mic drop. It was a football.
And my son said, the way this game is going, that's going to be the only time anyone spikes a ball in the end zone.
I like it.
And I looked at him like,
I like it.
Anthony, if that turns out to be the case, I will say that line on the air tomorrow, and I will give you credit. And as soon as Seattle scored the touchdown late in the third quarter, he stormed out of the room. He was pissed.
You just stifled my run, y'all.
But
that's a great line
for it anyway. So
that's a great line.
So let's start with the commercials.
All right.
And we talked about this a little bit ahead of time. I have this list here that I saw this morning. Advertising experts have graded every commercial you saw for the first time during the Super Bowl. I want you to give me your list of your favorite commercials, and I'll tell you what letter grade the experts gave that commercial.
For me, the commercials that resonate with me are the ones that make me feel something.
Okay.
And there were two that definitely did that. The first one was the Lay's One Last Harvest commercial where dad hands off the farm to his daughter. Oh my gosh, I was a blubberfest on that one. Good commercial.
All right, hold on. Before you move on, I'm trying to see Lay's.
They had a couple of good commercials, but that one was the one.
Let me see. I'm looking. Did not get an A. Okay, it got a B, a high B. The highest B rating that they gave went to that commercial.
I thought it was great.
Okay.
And the other one, kind of a similar vibe, the Redfin Rocket Mortgage, America Needs Neighbors Like You, Gaga singing the...
Okay. That's one of the ones I heard a little bit about going in. I'm trying to see. There was a lot of talk about that. Ugh. That one got a D.
That's too bad. I liked it. Now, the one that... Well, here's one. I wasn't even sure what this was about the first time I saw it.
Okay.
The Squarespace
Okay.
one,
Squarespace.
and they broke about 1 million computers within it. I'm like, what are they advertising besides breaking the crap out of computers? And it's they're looking for the what do you call it? Where you have your website hosted, web space hosting, I think is what it was.
Okay, if that's the one I'm thinking of, AI.com,
I guess.
that got the one and only F.
Yeah, nobody knew what the hell it was about.
Now, I will say, though, and I mentioned this on the air when I talked about it this morning, according to them, so take it for what it's worth, their server for web traffic right after that commercial aired crashed their server. So
Apparently it worked.
it was effective. People were going to the website and trying to register their domain and register their name if what they say is believable. But if it wasn't, why would you then come on and make a statement, oh, yeah, and nobody visited our website either? So I don't know if that actually happened or not.
Well, that was mine. The Instacart Living in the Age of Now with the guy doing the flips.
Yes, Benson Boone and Ben Stiller.
Bananas just how you like. I mean, he busted his butt 3 times with those flips. And I'm like, good. God, talk about over the top. That was kind of like, oh, man, this is just pratfalls.
I'm going to have to post this list because I'm trying to go through here quickly, and I'm not seeing that one jump out at me. That one I do remember definitively. And that had to be an A or a B, I would think.
And I think you said you didn't like this one, or I don't know if you actually saw it, but you heard about it. The Duncan, the tribute to Gen X, the TV heroes, Goodwill Duncan.
Love that one
Yeah.
so much. It is our video of the week this week online at my975fm.com. Now, on YouTube, it's 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
So you see a lot more than what you saw in the commercial. You
Yeah.
see everything that's in the commercial and 90 seconds more worth of stuff.
It was just a straight-up tribute to Gen X TV heroes. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
It was
Awesome.
interesting, though. And you and I did talk about it, that Matt Damon was not in that commercial.
No.
Maybe he was too busy filming The Odyssey, which is coming out this summer.
I don't know, but
So, yeah, the ones that jumped out at me were the Xfinity spot
yes, that was a good
with
commercial.
Jurassic Park, which surprised me, unless I missed it early on. The first time that aired was late in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And if you missed that one, they used a lot of the footage from the original Jurassic Park movie.
I forgot about that one. I sign off on that one as well.
Yeah, the power went down like it does in Jurassic Park, and all the dinosaurs get free. Well, thank goodness there was a guy from Xfinity on hand. And so, no, you've got this. You're all good to go. And then everyone signs off on the park because the power didn't go down like it did in the movie.
Yeah.
That one was good. Again, the Duncan one I liked. I'm trying to think of what else that jumped out at me. The Pepsi one with the Bears, I think I knew that one ahead of time. I didn't see it, but I just heard that the Polar Bears are now big fans of Pepsi. And since I knew that, the shocker of it didn't hit me. I was like, oh, this is the Pepsi Bears commercial. So I didn't appreciate that one as much as I could have.
Well, It's Pepsi, after all. So
Yeah, and they didn't advertise, Coke didn't at all in the Super Bowl, but they are advertising big time in the Olympics. And I think that they had to make a choice, either own the Olympics or go 50-50 in both. They decided to own the Olympics.
which they are, because I've been watching a lot of Olympics.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that next week because I've got some things I want to talk about that as well. Halftime show, thoughts?
For God's sakes, could you all please just take politics out of it? It doesn't belong there anyway. That was nothing less than one of the most spectacular live shows. 15 minutes, perfectly executed in multiple physical spaces, perceptually and actually. It was just good showmanship. It sounded good. Lady Gaga was in it. There were tributes to Cardi B. I saw Jessica Alba in there. That wedding was actually happening.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yes,
know that.
that was
Okay.
a real wedding. They asked Bad Bunny to go to their wedding. He said, no, how about this? How about you have your wedding at my halftime show? And they went, well, yeah.
All right.
And that was that. And, I mean, it was perfectly executed. There was nothing to not love. Puerto Rico, by the way, part of America, unincorporated, they're American citizens. So get over it.
Yeah, the fact that they're U.S. territory, not a state, is not their choice. I'm sure they would love to be a U.S. state, but it's just nothing that ever
They're
comes
American
up.
citizens.
Yeah, Ricky
they're
Martin-
Americans.
Ricky Martin was in that as well. The one thing I will say, at least early on, as Bad Bunny is making his way through that field,
Yes.
it felt a lot like the Weeknd's Super Bowl halftime show during COVID, where he had to figure out ways to make it more of a show and less of performing for the audience because there was no audience in the
Right.
Super Bowl stadium that year.
That had to be daunting.
My thinking on it was at the time, I wonder how this looks to people there at Levi Stadium. They weren't the audience with this. Most Super Bowl halftime shows, it's a mix of we're doing things for the cameras, yes, but this is still a show for those who paid a lot of money for these tickets. What we saw yesterday with the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny, that was not for anyone in attendance. The way they had multiple cameras going and going through that field. You wouldn't have seen anything unless you were watching on the Jumbotrons.
That's what I was going to say. At every concert, and this technically was a 15-minute concert,
Yeah.
there's always jumbos. And, yeah, even they got to enjoy it too. But you're right, it was intended to be watched on the big screen. But it was all live. He was not lip-syncing. He was pulling that off live.
Now, to be fair, did you watch any of the All-American halftime show with Kid Rock?
I did not. My daughter checked in for a moment and said, "Oh my God, he's lip syncing."
Kid Rock, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I have heard that, as was the case with Bad Bunny's show, there was nothing political mentioned. There was a lot of talk. In fact, I think that's what got a lot of people to watch the All-American halftime show, where it was streaming on a couple different platforms, on YouTube specifically, that Bad Bunny was going to come out and say something against ICE or say something. And granted, it was all in Spanish, but I didn't hear anything, and I haven't read anything subsequent to it happening that says that that's what happened.
We had the
subtitles.
Subtitles
So
on,
nothing.
and we didn't see it.
Okay, so from what I understand, in the All-American halftime show, there was nothing political said there as well. So that part I liked. The fact that a lot of thinking going in, and obviously it was separated for political ideology, but nothing like that actually happened. You and I were talking about it before we started recording. Do you remember when In Living Color did the same thing, and they had a live In Living Color halftime alternative? I want to say this was 91, 92.
So who was it? Who was it an alternative to?
That I
Who
don't
was
remember.
Who was the actual performer?
From what I recall, this was before they had huge marquee artists. So
okay.
it was, I don't want to say a nobody, but it wasn't a huge draw like a Prince
or the Who,
or an act like that. And they took it and ran with it and said, hey, listen, Super Bowl halftime show is meh.
Or Super Bowl halftime people, Metallica. That should be the next one.
Yeah,
just saying.
You can watch that, and obviously a lot of people did. Others watched that. And I remember we did watch the In Living Color that year, and they were very good. They had a little timer down in the corner.
Oh, funny.
And as soon as it was up, and they had an eye on it too. Okay, go watch the rest of the game. We'll see you later. Bye.
Peace out.
Yeah.
That's good.
So it was interesting with that approach to do it. I don't mind the idea of counter programming in that regard. The fact that it got political, like you said,
It's unnecessary.
That's where I'm not a fan of that.
It was just unnecessary. In fact, the opening scenes out in the fields are what got both of my late 20, early 30 daughters emotionally. That caught them up. And they
Really?
were like, wow, this is good.
Especially in an area here in Tulare and Kings counties where ag is as important as it is. The one thing I did hear about the halftime show going in is it was Bad Bunny's intention to give everyone watching a little slice of his Puerto Rico. If that was his intention, mission accomplished.
Also part of the United States.
Let's not forget about that.